Hey everyone, welcome to another Sports Guys Iowa podcast. I'm Brandon Leonard, joined by JD John Gunderson and J Jordan Cole this evening. And we are going to do a little bit of talking about the state of Iowa's favorite Division II team. Isn't that right, Jay? We are going to talk about the Upper Iowa Peacocks. Now, it is the off season, but in today's day and age, transfer portal, all sort of recruiting stuff. Is there really ever an off season, guys, with college football?
Nope, never.
No, it doesn't feel like it. And we are going to shed a little bit of light on the Peacocks, and we're going to collaborate and cover National Signing Day, about a week away right now. We're just going over who they're going to be bringing in. And Jay's going to start off today going over who's going out, who's Upper Iowa losing, and then we'll dive in on some folks that they're bringing in. Got a lot of fun information. Jay, why don't you take it away and tell us a little bit more about the Peacocks?
Yeah, like you said, Ghost, they're losing quite a bit of production from last year's historic team, going 9-3 last year, and their defense was really a key cog in them having success last year, averaging under 20 points a game and roughly 100 yards on the ground. Some of that key production they were losing was on that D line. And Shaquille Roman, 12 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, pretty big guy. And then a couple others that I noted was Eddie Latinauskas. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Eddie, but I'll buy you a beer if I'm up in Fayette. And also Braden Powers, among others. So definitely a big position group that they're losing a lot of production from. The hints a little bit down the line, it does seem like something that Coach Hoskins and his crew are looking to target so far in this signing class. But you got any other guys maybe on the offensive side of the ball, so you want to hit on?
Yeah, Overstreet, I believe, is going to be gone. Eddie Burgess, I believe he was All-American this year. Adam Montezuma, Monte Morrow, I believe, is no more there. They're the big three on offense that stick out, especially from a statistical standpoint. But we'll see if they can reload in 2026. Obviously, they got some fun pieces coming in. And I know at least one big piece that we didn't really get a chance to talk a whole lot about this year was Mr. Mulheron, out from injury. He's going to be back from injury, isn't he, JD?
Yeah, he is. We were at that game, Ghost. He was a returning all-conference linebacker, and I think, unfortunately, he went down with an ACL in the first or second series of the Drake game. When you guys were doing the stats and looking at it, they had 27 players who really played all games. They've got 17 of them back who got a lot of snaps. So they built a program. What I'm excited about, Ghost, is next Wednesday, signing day, we're going to be doing some wide interviews with the team when they officially launch all the commits who have signed. What's interesting is, remember those days, guys, when we would all get the blue flu and somehow be home from work because it was National Signing Day and see who got the number one ranked class? It was only about 5 or 6 years ago on signing day. D2 still got that. So it is the biggest day for D2. It's the first day people can sign, and we're excited about it. How many guys? We were able to find 7 people that have on X declared that they're going. 3 or 4 Iowans already. We have one interview with one young man that's already up there, a D tackle. That's coming in.
Absolutely. West Des Moines Valley's Alonzo Jimenez sat down and talked with JD today. Great conversation, a great young man from one of the most successful programs the state of Iowa has to offer. A lot of fun listening to him and hearing what he's got to say about his next journey up there in Fayette. A little bit different than West Des Moines, isn't it, JD? Fayette.
He's a big old boy, first team All-State. That's a big get for the Peacocks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just want to add, I like how he talked about the community of Fayette, how they just rally around the team. He said in your interview with him that when he came into Fayette, you look around, not much going on, but when it's game day there for the Peacocks, Fayette and the surrounding cities, they definitely show out for the team. So big selling point for some of these recruits.
Yeah, Ghost and Jordan, I think it's really interesting. We did a podcast not long ago with Coach Hoskins. He got a 3-year extension. They're on a roll. I think sometimes you can get a team that builds with a whole bunch of seniors going out and then has to really rebuild. I think they're closer to a reload situation They're big on both sides of the line. They're returning a lot of their old line. And if they can shore up the D line and replace some big names, I think it's a big enough program they'll find the skill players. That's my prediction. So far, guys, we've been able to identify a young man from Algona, one from Clear Lake, one from West Des Moines Valley, Center Point Urbana, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
State kids. On Wednesday, you'll want to be on our podcast because we'll be able to announce them all live. Until they sign, we can't really say a lot about them other than they're committed. And I think they're going to have a good class, a good haul. Brandon, Jordan, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. It's so hard to, like you said, track down who's committed. Obviously, a lot of guys haven't signed their intent yet, but announced they're committing. It's just all hearsay on Twitter. And until we get the final word on what the final haul is for the class, I think they've already got a pretty good starting point on rebuilding some key production that's going out the door.
Yeah, it's going to be hectic. You really can't count on it anymore. I don't know if Lane Kiffin's going to sweep in last second on any of these guys, and they're going to head to LSU. But, it's crazy times. D2 football is getting a lot of former D1 football players coming in as freshmen because they're not taking as many freshmen into D1 anymore. And it's all the portals. It's going to be some really good players that 10 years ago would have been D1 football players, but now they're going to Upper Iowa.
Yeah.
Which I think is wonderful for Upper Iowa.
Yeah, great problem to have if you're the Peacocks. And like you said, Jay, too, it's a little tough trying to navigate who's all out there. But stay tuned. That's why you got to follow Sports Guys Iowa, because we're going to be bringing you that coverage of who's signing with the Peacocks, who's going to Fayette, and who's Coach Hoskins bringing in to, you said it, JD, reload this program. So a lot to be excited about, gentlemen. We're really excited to collaborate with them and do something we haven't done before. We're having a blast doing it. We say this all the time, but we appreciate all our fans following along, all the support, and we couldn't do it without you guys. Gentlemen, any other thoughts here?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. We're going to have a lot of coverage here. We're starting with Upper Iowa, but when the NAIA teams we cover start releasing their recruits, which kind of varies February, March, April, we'll be covering all those launches. NAIA trails NCAA a little bit. D3 doesn't really release anything until everybody shows up in the fall. We're going to be really covering all the teams. Brandon, we got 7 or 8 of these other potential podcasts to do, and we're excited about it. What's cool is we got one close to the old days, NCAA day to kick us off. Brandon, any closing thoughts? Jordan, any closing thoughts?
It'll just be nice to see how all this goes with the signing day for the NAIA football teams, and just excited to get some coverage out there for the teams that deserve it and the recruits.
Yeah, one thing I would like to see, JD, is you talk back to the old ESPN shows where people are at the tables. Hey, maybe we'll get to see a decision. Maybe there's going to be a Bemidji State, a Mankato hat, and an Upper Iowa hat, and I hope those Minnesota hats get thrown over some heads and we get an Upper Iowa hat put on there. I'd love to see that. We need more of that.
We do. And I'm excited about the recruits we've been able to find so far. My favorite for Upper Iowa is this kid from Kenosha who's Sincere Williams, which might be all-name team immediate.
Yep.
I mean, is he anything but truthful? Yes, he's Sincere Williams. He's going to be a great kid. Plus, he's from Kenosha, Wisconsin. And I don't know if you guys have ever driven I-94 from Chicago to Milwaukee. It's the first city in Wisconsin, and it's home to the Mars Cheese Castle, which is a big castle filled with cheese, sausage, and beer. Might be the best stop in America. Maybe we can get Sincere on and we can talk about the Mars Cheese Castle.
Yeah, I'd love to learn more because my freshman year at Co, my next door neighbor's from Kenosha, and this is the first time I'm learning about this, so my interest is piqued. I want to learn more. Thank you so much again, everyone, for listening. Be sure to stay tuned to Sports Guys Iowa on all our social media platforms, Spotify for the podcast, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for some reels, X, Twitter, you name it. We're trying to get on all of them. So thanks again, everyone, and take care.